What up, y'all? It's Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94, back with another episode of Shorty Sneaker Conversations, and this is episode 162 with Made You Look 1111. What's up, BZ Fresh? Let's see if we can get. What's up, Cooley? Hey, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, being there for Jennifer, the friend that you have been for her. Thank you. What's up, HTC Way? What's up, Roy? All right, let's see if we can get our guests. Oh, man, I've been out in the streets all day. Day off, and I'm still working. Yeah, hopefully, our guests will be here shortly. Well, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Yeah,
all right. Thank you for being here today.
thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. No problem. So, everybody knows who you are, but you mind introducing yourself to the people who may not?
My name is Kitty Sneaks, and my handle is made underscore the letter U look 1111, and I am a sneakerhead.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, before we get started, I ask all of my guests, what's the most important thing you've been able to take, from the world experience since the pandemic happened?
Ooh, a lot time. We spend, before the pandemic happened, it was always on the go, go, go. And the pandemic actually, for some of us, it made us slow down, kind of spend more time with our families and friends that were living in close proximity, I guess, and kind of just reevaluate like where you want to go with things. I picked up a new hobby, I picked up fishing. So it really took some time for myself and kind of slow down and take it easy. I work from home, so that was one of the perks, and I still work from home, and that's a plus. So I kind of appreciate that more. And just kind of more looking into what I have in terms of really was able to go through my sneaker collection and see what I have and, kind of declutter and kind of it kind of put me back into just looking at things more versus where I didn't have the time to do it before. Every time it was like, oh yeah, there's a cop coming. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And if I was able to remember, I would get it. If not, you know, my career was priority and making money is always as bad as that may sound, that's kind of like my priority too as well. So, those things kind of took more of the forefront.
Okay. Hopefully, you don't get mad at me saying this, but people tell you a lot that you look like Jennifer Lopez.
No, but I
Really?
have people have told me that, and I just look at them like you're crazy.
It's just certain expressions. You know what I'm saying?
They're
But
like you're crazy. I think it's the hair. I think it's the hair. Mainly, I get it when my hair is like this because my hair is naturally curly.
got you. Got you. All right. So I guess before we get started, what sneaker did you wear today?
Oh, I have my Vans on today because I have kind of like a patchwork sweatpants on, and I had Vans on today.
Skate highs?
No, the skate lows. Actually, I have them right here.
Show them real
I had
quick.
the
All
just
right. The old schools, nice,
nothing,
nice.
nothing, nothing hot. Like nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Well, looking at your page, you seem to have a lot of variety.
Yes.
Um, what was your first kind of sneaker moment or sneaker memory that just kind of started to light the flame, so to speak?
I mean, since I was a kid, I was a tomboy growing up, so I was always involved in like trading basketball. So, like the OG silhouettes, like my first pair was in the 1997's Air Bacons. But really what kind of sparked everything was like in 2015 when I got out of the corporate world and started selling my suits on Posh. And I kind of saw Converses. I've always been a fan of Converses, and then I immersed a huge collection out of Posh and very, very good, if not new condition on some Converse, lows, highs. They really weren't collaborators like collab. It was just kind of like every color almost. And then I transitioned to Dunks. then transitioned to Jordans, and then Asics, New Balance, Sauconys. And so my palette has increased since then, or has changed since then in terms of what I collect. Like there's nothing specific that I say, oh, I only want Jordans. It's kind of like, no, I collect a variety of things, Pumas, Reeboks. It doesn't matter. But that first sneaker was the 1997 Air Bacons.
Okay. So before we get into that, do you still have that Converse collection?
Oh, yes, I do, but it's in boxes.
Okay.
It's a lot. A lot of people have asked me to pull them out, and I still haven't pulled them out, but I will. I'm gonna do a whole video on when I take the boxes, and some of them don't have boxes. Some of them are actually like in this giant like plastic container that I have. And every once in a while, like I do have like maybe four pair of Converses that I keep out that are like I call them my beaters, the regular high chucks, the black and whites, and the lows. There's like this ones that I wear in the summer that kind of look mesh that I just throw on and go. So I do keep them. I do have like about four that I keep out. But in terms of like I do have the Scooby Doo Hello Kitties. Um, I did not get the Naruto collab, but I believe they're still on the site if I'm not mistaken. Those
Depends.
are actually ones that I like.
Yeah, it depends on your size.
Yeah. So
But
I'm for anybody who has a curiosity, I get this a lot. I am an 8.5 in men's.
oh, so you're women's
So
team. Okay, got you.
eight and
Got
a
you.
half in men's, so I'm a women's 10. And a lot of people think that it's a big foot. Yes, I do have a big foot, and I wish I could do a transplant and go to maybe a size 6, but I can't. Sorry.
Uh, I'm just gonna say. I mean, I know a lot of women that wear a 10. Converse is my main employer, but
Oh,
yeah, I've worked for Converse for almost 5 years, but yeah, it's probably our best selling size after women's 8 and 8.5. It jumps to women's 10.
yeah.
You know, when I was married, my wife also wore a women's 10. So I know the struggle. I know it's a bit of a struggle trying to get women's only shoes in the 10. You know, but the 8.5 is always usually there, other than the pandemic.
Yes. I mean, I host 2 shows, and my fellow comrades think that it's easier for me to get the 8.5 when I go for a drop. So, I call myself, in their eyes, the little feet committee. So,
Well, I don't know. I'll just say from experience from running stores in the past and whatnot, really up until right before the pandemic, maybe 2018, 8 and 8.5 were always generally around. They'd be the last two sizes to sell out. But because that size has become more popular, I do think it's more difficult than it might have been like 10 years ago.
yes.
You
I
know,
I understand like the 11s and size 12s, those are ridiculous and they go for a ridiculous amount of money. I know that's a struggle and I acknowledge that, but it's like I still struggle too.
no, I get you. I get you. Now, I am going to say, I do feel like it's easier for GS people,
Yes.
you know, um, you know, because knowing the comrades that you do shows with, like I know Marcus wears a 12. I don't know what Kingsley wears, but you
He
know,
wears a 12 too.
okay, I'm 11 through 12, and Converse's I could do a 10.5 just because Chucks run big.
Yeah.
But it's funny to hear those guys say it because they have everything. Me
Not
and
not not everything. Not everything, but
well,
they struggle. They struggle too. But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we don't speak anymore, but Marcus Stuntman, I can't think of much he doesn't have. So
Oh no,
he
he's
has
a
quite a bit.
very determined person. Like
Yeah,
he's like, I'm getting those, I'm getting those. You best believe he gets those. Like once he says it, he gets them.
yeah, he has an amazing collection for
Yeah,
sure.
he does.
Um, but yeah, okay. So with the air bacon, we're talking about the red ones with the yellow laces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Of
All right. Yeah.
course.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, of course, Air Bacons, they used to call me the they used to make fun of them. They used to say Ronald McDonald sneakers because, the yellow and red laces, and then they're gonna redrop next year in 2026, and then KD kind of dropped this year a variation of them. It's not the same. I didn't get them. I probably would reach back to them on GOAT for a lesser under retail, but I still love them.
Yeah, I have an OG pair that I had in high school. I used to wear the blue ones a lot more than the red ones back then. But when I found out that that shoe was made with Dennis Rodman in mind instead of, it
Tim
ended up being like a
Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway shoe. It was really designed for Dennis Rodman before he went over to Converse. I kind of look at the shoe a little different because I'm like, it's kind of crazy, like him because I feel like when Tim Hardaway wore it, he didn't wear the yellow laces. He used to wear the black laces. So the shoe isn't the same without the yellow laces.
It's not. I wore mine with the yellow laces.
Yeah.
Like the
Mm-hmm.
like it and I to this day I would wear them with the yellow laces. I think
Yeah.
the black takes away from the actual aesthetic and the actual kind of I just look at sneakers as like each of them has its own, what do you say? Each sneaker has its own personality, right? I mean, yes, they're made for an athlete, but it does speak to, that's why people buy them because it speaks to people on a certain level. So
Right.
that sneaker was kind of like, it was out there. It's like, I'm here and it's like, look at my feet and look at what I am. And that's kind of how I view sneakers. When you put a pair of sneakers on, you put it with the intention of like, you want to be low key? Do you want to just want people to look and be like, oh, that's a showstopper. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I view sneakers. Like every sneaker has a personality of itself, and the intention, the way that it was designed has a personality itself.
Yeah, I am hopeful that they bring back the black and blue and the white and navy OGs because they always just focus on the red one. It's sort of like with the 95, how it's five other OG colors, but they only focus on the neon. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that with the bacon, they bring back the black and blue as well as the white and navy leather ones. But okay. So after the bacon, and you had, your foray into Chucks, what was like the next shoe that solidified it? That's like, all right, Kitty Sneaks is in the sneaks. Like what was that next shoe? Or
It
was
has
there?
to be the Nike Cortezes. I had a lot Cortez. That's a sneaker that I had like every color
Hmm.
in the color wheel because it
Okay.
matched with everything. Air Force Ones. I always had a fresh pair of mids or lows the start of high school. So I think the Nike Cortez and the Air Force Ones were one of those like pinnacle sneakers of like, yeah, I like sneakers.
Okay.
I do. And I had like the OG Pumas. I don't know if they're still around, the OG Pumas where it's like more round. And I had them in black and white.
Just the Puma suede or the Puma cloth?
Yeah,
Oh,
the suedes.
okay.
Those two, and then I kind of like it like after high school it was kind of like I still dipped around in it, but it wasn't really like I was going for a certain particular sneaker, and not until like I got out of the corporate world, because like I couldn't, I had to dress a certain way in the corporate world and outside, so it's kind of like that was kind of my whole world, and so I dressed a certain way outside, and you wouldn't catch me in J's or really Nikes at that point in time. And so then I got out of it and I kind of got back into sneakers.
Got you. Yeah, I fuck with Pumas. I'm kind of ashamed to say I never owned the black with the grayish stripe until last year. I always had other colors. I'd have the weird color. I got random collabs. I was really into the Puma Ralph Sampson for a little bit. The Puma First Round, where they had the Yo MTV Raps collab. I had stuff like that, but I never had just a regular pair of black and gray Pumas until last year.
Yeah, I
So,
remember those I got on sale, and that's like the reason why I got them, and they matched with everything. It was kind of like the panda of that time.
mhm.
So, and it matched with everything. So, I mean, to this day, I mean, they're an iconic sneaker, and that's why it's kind of like the Air Force One of Pumas, like that they
Yeah,
keep around all the time, and then they just start dropping variations of it and collabos of it. I think they did a Formula One collabo with it too,
a lot of car
not too
collectors.
long ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mercedes, if I'm not,
They had a Mercedes, a BMW, a Ferrari,
yeah,
maybe Audi, but
yeah,
yeah.
I know Ferrari. I know that they carry a lot of Formula One stuff.
Mm.
Puma does. but Mercedes. But then now Adidas is doing a collab with
Yeah.
Adidas with Mercedes.
Okay. So when you're you're from the tri-state,
Yeah, I'm from
okay,
Connecticut. I was born in Puerto Rico, and then I came here when I was 7 or 8, and been living here since then.
okay. So are you into sports at all?
Yes, I grew up on basketball, like the old, but it's like the OG NBA players like Dennis Rodman, John Stockton, Michael Jordan, Muggsy Bogues. You
Mm.
did, I mean, that was like the era. That was like the the pinnacle era. I was saying how like my first kind of spark was the 1996 Nike Air Up Tempos, which I do have a pair. I have my pair. Get some context here. I haven't really pulled out this. I was trying to find it, but it was found it in my
Oh, okay, the
boxes. But
Pippins.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's a variation of the Nike Up Tempo, the 1996. But really, what caught my eye was like when Maya and Jay Z were doing the Best of Me video, and they had the Carolina blue and the white Nike Up Tempo, and then these I got in 2018.
Hmm.
So these are one of my faves. Black and red are my favorite colors, so this is one of those OG silhouettes that I love, and they've been, and I have the Peace, Love, and Basketball ones too. The white with the
Blue
kind of
and the
like
yellow.
almost, yeah, I have those too.
I have those. I
Yeah,
have both of the Converses, the Pro Leather and the Chuck 70, and I have those Pippins. I think there's an Air Force One or a Blazer from that too that I still need to get. But yeah, that was a nice pack.
yeah.
But yeah, okay, all right. So with you being in the middle of like Boston and New York, are you more Boston or more New York with the sports?
New York.
I figured.
I'm gonna say I am a Yankees fan. I'm gonna say
Okay.
that I am a Yankees fan. I was rooting for the New York Knicks because I kind of felt like they deserved it. I mean, yes, the Indiana Pacers were underdogs, but so were the New York Knicks. So it was kind of an interesting final this year because it was like we had two underdogs and one of the most iconic teams in New York finally reached the finals. And so instead of Boston, the Boston Celtics. So I've always been a New York fan. I'm probably gonna get like something thrown at me. No, I'm not a Mets fan or a Jets fan. So sorry, or a Giants fan. Sorry.
I mean, I'm from Cleveland, so I know all about underdogs. I live in North Carolina, but I'm from Cleveland, so I don't know. I mean, this is a hot take. I don't know that the Knicks were an underdog. They haven't won in a long time, but I don't know
Yes,
that
that's
they
what I'm
were
talking
an
about.
underdog.
Like, if they would have bought that home, if they would have bought that home for New York, just like the Yankees went to the World Series last year and they, you know,
Yeah,
just gonna say it, they blew it.
I can't really, like I said, this is no disrespect. I can't feel bad because one of y'all teams is always good. Same thing with Boston. It's
Yeah.
like the Celtics could suck, but the Patriots is good, or the Red Sox is good. With
Oh,
Cleveland,
bro.
all three of our teams could be bad at one time. We don't know when it's gonna end. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it's not
Y'all don't
as
know
I
that
mean,
much.
my brother lives in Chicago and when he went out there it was a totally different thing because it was like the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox was like that they were rivals in itself and I'm like, yeah, both of them never win. How do you feel about that? He's like, I'm still a Yankees fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's people who will be like, "Oh, well," because I've only been in North Carolina since 2020, so I'm still very Cleveland, except for basketball. I mean, I was raised a Lakers fan on Magic Johnson and James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
So the Lakers will always be my favorite basketball team. But I root for the Cavs. I mean, the Cavs have been good the last couple of years, but what sucks about them, and I feel like New York teams go through this too. It's like, yeah, y'all are good, but are y'all as good as LeBron though? It's like no matter how good the Knicks are, they're gonna be judged by Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley, those guys.
Yeah, and yeah, you're not gonna get that back. Like that was a great nostalgia moment, back in the 90s and when they had all those players and they were on fire and I mean, really like back in the day if you really think about it, we looked at the players.
Yeah.
Did we really like I had a starter's jacket and it was a football. It was from when they were the LA Raiders. And yeah, it was like more about the color for me, but if you think about it, like when you had the Hornets jacket, the starters Hornets jacket, like they weren't really a great team. But I don't know, I kind of feel like back then it's like every team was great. Every team had an iconic player in it. That you
Hornets
can
was
say
popular
like it
for a
was
while, too.
great. Like the
Yeah.
Utah Jazz, Chicago Bulls. Um so like the Houston Rockets. I used to like the Houston Rockets and so it's like if you think about it, like every team had an iconic player in it, basically. You know, the Boston Celtics with Bird and the Lakers. So it's like you kind of I think back then we kind of more idolized the players more than we idolized the team.
I agree with you. I'm going to be a
My
Lakers fan no
opinion.
matter who plays for them. I never even wanted LeBron to go to the Lakers, but I agree with you.
That I mean, if you look at the 90s growing up, we idolized the player, not the team per se.
Some of us, not all of us.
Some of I know,
But I got you.
just
So would you say it? I know we're not supposed to. I'm supposed to ask a woman. How old are you? You look so
I
young.
can't tell you. I can't tell
I
you.
mean, you name dropping John Stockton and Dennis Rodman. I'm like,
That's
she
just
gotta.
it's gonna be a riddle for everybody.
Oh my gosh! All
But
right,
thank
we're gonna
you.
say
I
you at least
appreciate the
40
compliment.
dropping them names. We can say that you're at least 40.
Can't
You're not
say.
gonna cop to any. Okay, cool.
Can't say.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so looking at your collection for what it is, you talked about it a little bit. What area of your collection would you say you're most proud of?
I think my Jordans, because I started in with Jordans in 2021, started out with the black militaries. So a lot of people think that I've been collecting Jordans forever. I know the history of Jordans, but I didn't start getting into them until 2021. And as you can kind of see in the background, I mean,
Yeah.
I've managed to immense quite a bit of Jordans throughout this last 4 or 5 years. So
How many
it's kind
Jordans
of
do you have?
crazy.
You know?
Mm, phew, I'm probably now at like 60.
Hmm.
I want to say 60, like 61 maybe with the undefeateds that I just got.
Yeah, to drop
So,
that you got the undefeateds.
oh
I
yeah, I
got
got it. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna show them. I'll show them for you guys. But that was this. The undefeateds are definitely like a holy grail. Like that's a grail. I mean, they haven't dropped in 20 years, so it's a grail. Um, I didn't have any of the QC like the issues that people were saying that they were having. I didn't have that issue with the quality. So, um, it's everything I expected. And actually today I didn't get the jacket, but I did get a Avrix jacket and that kind of matches with it. It's a bomber jacket, so I'm happy now. Like,
you got an Averex to go with the Jordan.
yeah, I still shop Avrix. I still shop Avrix.
No, it's good. I
Um,
mean, I've got a couple, but they're all like old from the '90s.
yeah,
But
but those are like the
yeah,
best. Like I remember I did have t-shirts. I don't know if you remember like when Nas had his own Willie Echo, Fat
man,
Farm.
these references is the age. Like for you to remember these things.
I that was pinnacle. Like Avex
Yeah.
was like pinnacle in hip hop, and it still is. Like it, the brand still is what they've been around since 1973.
Hmm.
1973, I believe. Um, so they've been making quality leather jackets for like ever. So, um, to I was just like looking for a bomber jacket and they had one and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it because that's kind of like a throwback for me for to get an Avex jacket.
Yeah, I had a bunch of old stuff like that inside my marriage. She was like, "Why do you have?" I'm like, "Listen, I bought this. The first one I had, I bought it in 1998. It was $450, the most I had ever spent on one thing at that point. And I was like, I'm never gonna get rid of this. I don't care how old it is.
And now they're like over $1,000.
I know, I know.
They're over a
One of
thousand
my
dollars now.
one of my old employers started selling them again, and one of my friends works there, and he's like, "Man, we got the Averexes back, they 1,300." And I had one of them, like the exact one. I'm like, "This jacket?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Man, I only paid like 300 for this, the City Blue back in the day," but it's all good.
No, like I'm taking a course through Parsons X Complex on streetwear, and it's kind of just like bringing, remember PMB, like just bringing back
Post no
that.
bills.
Yeah, Post No Bills, remember that?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like digging deep into the history of streetwear, and I've been enjoying that course a lot. If anybody is interested in that and kind of just want to know, I suggest going for the Parsons X Complex streetwear um module or course that they offer. I mean, they give you a certificate once you complete it, but it's more of the history. And a lot of people don't know that Chris Gibbs bought Union in 2008, and it was owned by Eddie Cruz from Undefeated at that time, and he
Mhm.
sold it to Chris Gibbs. A lot of people didn't know that. So for him to take over that and just continue to do what he's doing with the Union brand is awesome.
Yeah, like it's a lot of Union collabs now, but my two favorite that I own are two of the first ones. They did a Barkley Air Force 180, but it's like fluorescent colored
Yeah.
from 2005, and then they made a Air Max 97 with the 360 bottom, and it was those same colors. Like those are two of my favorite. I'm kind of afraid to wear them because they're so old, but Union has come a long way. Those first Jordan ones are to me probably the best thing that they made to
Yeah, I
me.
mean, it's like the Undefeateds. I was like kind of like the first collabo with the boutique. So with the Undefeateds, but I mean, these little small boutiques have come a long way. Where I do hope that in the future Jordan starts, spot at like we're getting to a point where I feel like Jordan's kind of running out of juice. So the Jordan brand
Mm.
and eventually they will, and hopefully they start looking at these small boutiques and start giving them a chance to do collabos and designs and get some new fresh innovative creative ideas from these boutiques.
Well, the thing I always say, because it's happened several times, I feel like right now we're in a Jordan, cooler period of Jordans, but this happens every 5 or 6 years where Jordans will get a little quiet or they'll get a little
Mhm.
cooler. But one shoe could bring the momentum back. Like when the Concords came out in 2011, that momentum lasted all the way until 2015. So it one shoe could bring it back. I mean, the thing that is interesting though is for me to be an old school collector to see all of these sought after shoes just be regular shoes now, and you can get them for a couple of $100. It is crazy, going on GOAT seeing an undefeated four for $430 in my
That's
size.
wild.
Wow.
Yeah, I was actually watching well, Got Soul had a podcast with the actual founder of StockX, and it
Mm,
was interesting how he started all that. And once he stepped down and kind of sold the company over, and his idea with it, like I understand like where he was going with it, but then it just kind of became that market of high prices. And of course, that's the world that we live in. I know I saw Ike pop in earlier. He's from Flipper Drip, and he has an app where you can actually sell your sneakers for free. And he actually has deleted high, like he goes in and deletes postings that are ridiculously overpriced. So I can appreciate that about him. But it was mainly that app is mainly done to connect sneakerheads to another sneakerheads, not really a reselling app, but just kind of more for the community when he doesn't make a penny out of it.
okay. Now, with you liking a variety of different things, is there a silhouette or uh, a signature line that you don't really care for or rock with, or you like those are cool, but that's not for me?
Yeah, like me, like, and the guys will tell you from the Weekly Narrative and the Soul Narrative family, they'll tell me like I'm not gonna sit there and say your sneakers are trash. Like if that's what you love, that's what you love. I'm not gonna come over here and say those sneakers are ugly. Like I'll keep my opinions to myself because it's like kind of like how would you like it if I came to your page and say those things are ugly? Like that's not cool. Like that's just how I am. Like if that's what you like, that's what you like. I don't like a lot of people, yeah, like the New Balance and the Asics, but I got a pair of New Balances. I have a pair of Asics and Sauconys, and they've grown on me. I used to have what was it, the Sauconys back in the day, like the original silhouette that they had. I had like two pairs of those, and
Just the trash.
it's kind of just um, so either. It's kind of like I'm a person that it's like I either go with what is in or I just stick to my true OG self. Like I still appreciate OG silhouettes, but if anything new comes up, then I like it. Like I don't mess with Yeezys. That's one thing that I didn't mess with since they dropped. That really wasn't like it really wasn't appealing to me, but the way people dressed them up, I was like, yo, that's dope.
Got you. Got you. Okay.
So I'm not
Uh,
one to like say those are trash. Those are, I know the guys will say they're juice truck, and I'm like, do you think they're garbage juice truck? And but if a person wears them and they put a nice fit, I'm gonna show love to that. To that, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It pays. There's costs you $0 to show love to somebody and on their post because they took time and effort to put that together.
right. Got you. So, do you have a holy grail of sneakers?
Well, my undefeateds are now my holy grails. My next holy grails are my oh my next holy grails are of course my OG lost and founds. These are my holy ones, and the reason why is because I ended up paying over retail for them. So this is the only sneaker in my collection that I have paid over retail with. So
Okay.
these are my holy grail, but my undefeateds kind of now took that place.
So
And
there's.
then,
Go ahead.
and then recently, something that I like really appreciated was the residency that the residency that Bad Bunny is doing currently in Puerto Rico, and he's dropping a line. And so I haven't even opened these, but um, these were out of all the colors, this is the one that I was actually planning on going for. Um, we get them unwrapped. So
Well,
this is a really nice color. I love the color. And this was what? Um I bought the under I bought the undefeateds before I bought these. So and but these came before the undefeateds. But I definitely love what he I have another variation of the sneaker that he did. Um but really it's more of appreciating what he's doing for the community out there and bringing forward folks back into tourism um and instead of he could have traveled worldwide and instead he's having people come to him and kind of put back more into the island. So
gotcha.
I appreciate when someone does that.
Okay. So, is there a sneaker that you're looking for that you just really want that you haven't been able to touch? You've missed it or whatever. Is there anything like that?
Oh, the Travis Scott's Olive Lows,
Okay.
the green and white pair. Yeah, as Ryan Retro would say, they elude me. They seem to elude me every time they drop, and I refuse to pay over retail for those. So hopefully they re-drop, but if they don't, I'll be okay. But those I entered like 8 raffles and I lost 8 raffles.
Mm,
8 raffles.
yeah. I mean, I only own the only Travis Scotts I own are the low top fragments from 2021. Nike gave me exclusive access to them in the hoodie, but that's the
Nice.
only pair I have. But I feel like one day, I mean, I don't know when, but I feel like one day all of those are just gonna be regular shoes too.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're gonna be like,
They're gonna be like how Yeezys are now.
yeah, like Yeezys and like the Charles Barkleys that now they or reproduce them, and the Penny Hardaway, like the pennies, excuse me, the so it's kind of like one of those sneakers that it's like, yeah, now everybody has them and we're okay, or yeah, like there's someone hotter out now, like eventually when an artist dwindles down, it's kind of like it's going to be interesting to see if that maintains, or like the brick by bricks. I wonder how in 5 years those are going to be like. Are they going to maintain its market value?
Yeah,
The undefeateds, they're starting to go down a little bit in the reselling market, just a tiny bit, but not enough. The shattered backboards were going over for $1,000, and now they went down since they're going to be re-releasing what next week.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I feel like the undefeateds are going to go down lower after the sneakers drop because there are going to be more pairs out. So
Yeah,
maybe
but I
more
mean,
like $300 shoe than a $400 shoe.
yeah, it's kind of like the OG lost and founds. It was kind of like I waited for a little bit, and then they went down. I didn't cop them over for $400 when they were at that price point. I copped them at a lower price, but still, I still paid over retail, so
Gotcha.
wasn't fun. But you know, I really wanted them when they first dropped. I didn't get them, and then when the April drop happened, um, I actually had 3 accounts going and lost all 3.
Yeah. I got
So
you.
I work for my sneakers, so
Yeah.
the guys could tell you I hustle for my sneakers. There is no, oh, if you guys, can you guys enter me a raffle, or oh, if you have a plug, can you let me know? Like, no, I work for my sneakers.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since I talked to either of those dudes, but I think we all do. I don't know that anybody, people might say, since I'm technically a Nike employee, that I could be a plug or whatever, but
Oh, so you got a Nike
and
dot swoosh account or a swoosh account?
yeah,
Yeah,
but it still has to make it to Nike. It's not like I get the love on the sneakers app. So, you know what I mean? It's different.
that's
But
interesting. Do you still have to do raffles the way everybody does?
if it's something on sneakers, if it's something that I would want, yeah, it's because like
Like
with
a
those,
general? Oh, wow.
yeah, like with the, I mean, it's got to be limited stuff that like I had to pay full price for the Travis Scott hoodie and the shoes. Like they were just 150 or however much they were.
Yeah.
Uh, I was working for Converse and Nike then, but it's not often. I mean, most retro Jordans are just going to make it to swoosh and they're going to be $120. So,
Interesting.
but for me to buy Jordans now, it's got to either I've got to replace it or it's got to speak to me. And having all of them, they don't really speak to me the same because it's just me replacing it. It's not like, ooh, I didn't have these. It's like I have them.
Yeah,
Everything that's
that's
come
fun.
out this year, I've gotten.
That's
Like I
funny
have.
because we had like really had a conversation about that on the last weekly narrative of like, yeah, like, you know, like Kiki didn't go for the aquas because she's like, I already have a pair. What do I need another pair? Like, yes, it's a redrop, but and we were kind of getting into that conversation of like, how many pairs can you have of the same silhouette in a different year? And I guess as if you look at it differently, if they did something different on them, then I guess if you like it, then you could go for it. But I was like, this year you're not really gonna see that. Everything's just true to its form. But there are some people there that I was like, oh, my pair is 10 years old. I need another pair, and they got another pair.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess I see it from both sides. I mean, knowing her, she doesn't really buy new releases anyway.
She
So
has she has like an awesome collection, but she already has half the stuff that's redropping
yeah,
out.
I mean,
So
her, Stuntman, and Real Big Al Kicks used to do a show similar to y'all's called Certified OGs. So her and I've been thrifting together and whatever. It just we all I think approach sneakers differently, but for me, I just think that if the shoe means a lot to me, I'll buy it over again. Anytime a Black Infrared 6 come out, I'm
yeah.
gonna buy 2 pairs. So the only thing I wanted this year that I couldn't put my hand on was surprisingly was the Black Metallic 5. That's a regular shoe for
They
people like
just
us.
redropped too.
What
Didn't they
shoe?
not? Last week they redropped?
Oh, I think I think I think Nike redropped them. I mean, I was working. I don't have my
I
phone working, so I
it
didn't.
was, I think, Foot Locker redropped them, but like the black metallic fives like seriously have been that sneaker that is like right there where they're saying it's right there with the brick by bricks, and now I'm like, yeah, maybe it's with the undefeateds too. But that's been the I'm still hearing talk about the black metallics.
Just again, having every other version of it, it's just a regular shoe. So for it to be in the talks with those other shoes is surprising.
It's crazy.
Because when they came out in 2016, I was running a Nike Tier Zero account in Cleveland. I had to sell them to people. Like nobody wanted them then. I know they're a little different because of the 3M or whatever, but other than that, and the white laces, it's the same shoe. But nobody wanted it in 2016.
I
So
know that's wild though. Like,
it's
and now it's like that's the sneaker that now everybody wants this year. I'm gonna say one of the top five sneakers on some people's list that they want this year.
yeah. I mean, I will just say this, and this is a hot take, but I feel like if that shoe came out right now and not during tax time, I don't think it would be that big of a deal.
But they came out in January. But
I think
people still bought.
I think
They
it came
when they
out February,
redropped
didn't
last
it?
week, people still bought them. People are like, oh, I still need the black metallic fives. Like some people didn't get them, and some people still didn't get them.
I think people want them because they're expensive. I think if they weren't a five hundred dollars,
I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. Like that sneaker was one of the sneakers where it was like that didn't speak to me. I'm gonna be full transparent, and it's a dope sneaker. But when I looked at it, I was like, I think I'll pass. I'll pass on that.
well,
But
I'll give
it's
you.
kind of like it's like a reach back. Like it was on my
Well,
reach back list.
I look at it for what it is. Like my 2016 pair is still icy. They're just in storage. I've been buying sneakers over again because I'm not gonna dig through storage to find them. I'm just not. But
You
you
sound
know,
like me. It's like I know I have a hoodie. I know I have this color hoodie, but I'm gonna go buy another one because I don't feel like finding that color hoodie.
yeah, I'm just I'm gonna buy a pair over again for the apartment, and I like it enough where I can justify having two. Fine, but for me, just historically, like I've gotten every other one. It came out in 11. It came out in '07. It came out in 2000. It's a historic shoe, but it's never been like one of my favorite black Jordans the way it is for other people. It's not a black infrared 6. It's not a bread 1 or a bread 4 or black cement 3. It's like after all of them. So again, as an older sneaker person, I'm just surprised that it's in talks to be sneaker of the year because I was like every other 50 pairs of Jordan 5s have come out since I've been with the company and none of them have sold out. Why
But
is
you
this
know what's
going to
so
sell?
interesting that a lot of people are like, the steel toes. People are like, oh, those are gonna what they dropped the same time as the uh they dropped the same time as the oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. They dropped at the same time as another sneaker, and they're like, oh, we're gonna go for
Well,
these first because
they
the
were
the steel toes are still gonna be available, and those sold out.
well, they came out around the time the undefeated dropped them. It was like in the
Yeah,
same couple of days.
August 2nd, yes.
Yeah,
So it came
but
out at the same time.
I just feel like, and this may be a hot take. If that was a regular general release, those would still be around.
But that's crazy though that they made what the steel toes, what they said 18 to 20,000 pairs, and then it's wild. It's
I
wild.
mean, I don't have many OGs here, but I do have my '94 pair.
Ooh, wow.
This this I just think they know that people don't like this, so
But they
they
added
didn't
it. That's
really.
what people wanted.
Yeah, I know more people that wanted it to be like one of the '05 or 13, but I don't know. I'm glad they limited it. I wanted the box more than I wanted the shoes itself, but I don't know. It's interesting to get your take on things though. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
Like the
giving me a
grapes.
perspective.
The grapes were that's an OG silhouette, and people were just like, "Yeah, we're gonna get them, we're gonna get them." You know, it was hyped up, and they sat and they redropped 3 or 4 times. I have the grapes. I like grapes.
But that's what
Here's
I'm
my grapes.
saying.
Oh,
That's
and
what I'm
then
saying about the black metallic.
this was hyped up too. The cements, they were hyped up. Yes, they sold, but then how many times they redropped? They redropped what 3 or 4 times. and they were like they created FOMO in people, and um, you know they they came through with it, like, and the Ferraris too. What else? These are let's see.
But
Yeah,
but
the grapes. Yeah, so like this was another pair that they were like people were hyping it up, and then it you know they were sitting. You're still going into the stores and finding them.
but that's what I'm saying about the black metallics. I feel like if they would have came out when the grapes did, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
That
I think it was the timing.
I, but that's the thing. Like, it's just so weird how Nike's doing the timing on certain things, and it's like, so what are you trying to do? Are you trying to have OG silhouettes sit, or are you trying to have them sell out? Because it's kind of confusing the way you're doing it. Because why drop a steel toe at the same time as the undefeateds too, on August 2nd?
Well, you got to give them a consolation prize if they can't get what they want. They always do that.
Yeah, but still, like the steel toes sold out. So by the time you enter, and then you have to remember with undefeated, the way they were EQL, I didn't get my notification till 9:30 at night,
I got mine
and
either way.
like people were getting them in the morning, and I'm like, yep, I'm done, I'm cooked. And I had two accounts that I did it from, and I'm like, I'm cooked, like I'm not getting this, like Stunt got it, and I was like, yep, I'm done. And then I like 9:30 at night I got it, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So we may have to agree to disagree. These came out on February 8th, the black metallics. I'm telling you, if they'd have came out now, they'd just be a regular shoe. I really believe that.
But they did redrop.
I know, but I'm saying that they
If
redropped
you're
it.
talking about if it was like a fresh release
Yeah, if it
that they
didn't
would have
come
been
back,
sitting
if
right
it
now, yeah, because look at August, how it's been stacked, like with the undefeateds. And then like one thing is that I saw somebody do an Instagram reel about how like the shattered backboards are still sitting in in Europe, and they even had some pair of Wu-Tangs, the Nike Dunks that Wu-Tang did, they were still sitting in Europe. And I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, that's wild. Because over here, those things like flew.
well over there, running shoes are king. Jordans never sell well overseas. It's
But that's
always running.
wild. Because I feel like they get the best. I
Mm,
feel like they do get the best, and they get all the, they're now talking about the Tokyo's doing a Japan exclusive drop, which, they're kind of playing with the emotions there for a bit now, because if you think about it, they first said they were dropping, then they didn't drop, then now they're dropping, and now they're Japan exclusive.
I don't know. Those is cool, but it's you got a pair of lightning fours. What do you need with the Tokyo 5? That's
I
just
mean,
me.
they haven't dropped since 2011, so a
Well,
lot
they
of
only
people
came
want
out in
them.
Tokyo at that store.
Yeah,
But
so
but
it's a people do want them, and I'm pretty sure they're going for a pretty penny on resale.
I'm not saying they don't. I just stuff like that. Are you buying it because it's limited, or are you really buying it because you want it?
That's the thing, though, that Nike has been, you as a Nike employee, Nike has
Technically, I
been,
work for Converse. Nike just owns
okay, Converse,
Converse.
Converse, no, owned
But
by Nike.
yeah, I mean, we're just like I mean, I've been collecting sneakers since 1997, so my perspective is always going to be different from other people's because I don't know. Are you dropping this because it's limited? Like people that want the undefeated fours, do you really want them, or are you looking on Goat and StockX seeing them go for hundreds of dollars and you only want them because of that?
Because of the reselling. Yeah, and that's kind of like what, like I feel like is kind of, ooh, it's like a double-edged sword in the sneaker community, reselling. It's like, yeah, somebody can potentially get you your coveted pair, but then at what price? And do you really honestly think it was fair? But then that's the world we live in, you know? It's like, like the lullaby dolls. It's like now that's a thing, and now people are like, yeah, I'm a collector and I'm gonna resell these for thousands of dollars. It's kind of like, what's the next thing that people can resell at a higher price to consumers?
Yeah, see, I don't. I've had to work with them at certain points in time, depending on what store I was running, but I don't. The resellers is. I understand the business side of it, but I've never been a
Yeah,
fan
me
of it
too.
as a
It's
collector.
really tough. It's
You know,
it's it's really tough when, it's coming from an angle of like, like I said it, like there's people that like sneakers and there's people that love sneakers. And it's
Mhm.
like who likes them and who loves them.
All right, Kitty. So which side are you on?
I love sneakers. I'm
You love sneakers. Okay.
obviously. I
Well, I mean, it's not obvious. You got
I
plenty of people that
I
dislike
love
sneakers.
sneakers, and it's like I I respect everybody's collection. You collect whatever the heck your little heart desires. There's
Mhm.
no, there's no shade, and I talk about sneakers and how there could be a little bit more community, and then we had the discussion about is the sneaker community too open, um, and I think during COVID that happened. You know,
A lot of pandemic sneakerheads out there. It's a lot of them.
people just started collecting them, and then what gets me is like when you don't know the history behind the sneaker. Um, and it's just like, yeah, I get it. Like if you have a child or you say like my dad wore them, my mom wore them, like that's awesome. But go look at to see like the history behind them. Um,
Yeah.
and it's like it's more telling and more. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It's more telling and I guess it's not like a validation thing, but it's just more like, yeah, I know the history of the sneakers that I'm wearing.
All right. So before we move on, between the two, what's more iconic to you between the Black Metallic Five and the Grape Five?
Mm, I'm gonna have to.
Because they're the same.
I know. I'm gonna have to. I'm honestly, I'm gonna have to say the Great Fives. He wore them on a Wheaties box. It pays homage to his hometown. A lot of people just dress him up with the Hornets outfit, but either way, they're like both. To me, it's more of a nostalgic thing when it comes to these two silhouettes versus of like which one's better. It's more of a like you can remember when the grapes dropped back then in um 93 and you couldn't get them because your parents didn't have money. That's kind of like what I remember, out of it. So it's more of a nostalgic feeling when I see these OGs drop of like, wow, I did want those when I was a kid and I couldn't have them. And now I have the opportunity to have them. And, to me, I still think that every OG silhouette still holds its history, regardless, um, and has and everybody's opinion has an opinion about them, but holds a level of respect to them.
Yeah, I think that they're both iconic, but I feel like the grape is more iconic just because of the product placement. You know, Michael Jordan wore them on that because I had that Wheaties box, but I feel like the grape is more synonymous with the Fresh Prince and with the different
Yep.
world and just culturally. Yeah, Jordan wore the black metallics in the '90 All Star game and in the 1990 playoffs. He wore them for a couple games with the white laces, but that grape for it to be what it is, it's still surprising to me that I can go into the Nike next to the Converse
And
that
get
I work
them.
at, and they're there because they sold out crazy in 2013, and they made them an LS release in '06, so you couldn't really get them unless you went to certain stores. But it's cool. I just I like hearing your take on this.
No, I think that for sure. They're both iconic silhouettes, but like, I have the grapes, so I gotta show love to the grapes and, like the story behind it.
Mm.
I do have the Ferraris too, and that's an iconic silhouette too, and my just my opinion. Everybody thinks otherwise, and um, just the history behind it, and the creation, and kind of like his last silhouette that he wore to the steel toes. That was his first sneaker that he came out with after he retired, and it has all his achievements on the bottom. So I mean, everything has a meaning to it. I think just like more the like silhouettes have more of a meaning and a history behind them than the new silhouettes that are dropping. And no shade to the people that like no shade to the collaborators that are doing collabos with like Nigel Sylvester and you know um so it's not so it's So it's kind of like it's like you can't go wrong with it. But it would be nice if more of the new sneakerheads that are coming into just took the time to look at the history of the sneaker and the creation and how it was, you know, how kind of it came to where it's at.
Okay. All right. So we're at the part of the show now where we do some either or questions. And with you thinking in, and the reason I asked you about the Boston and New York thing is because I know in Hartford back in the day when I was younger, the Celtics used to play some home games there at the Hartford Civic Center in Connecticut.
No, I did not
Yeah,
know that, but I know that all I know that we had a hockey team by the Hartford Whalers.
yeah. I actually have a Whalers hat and shirt in the other room.
Hartford Whalers, like that's all we
Yeah,
got.
but yeah,
And
I
now
don't know.
The Connecticut Suns have been sold, and they're thinking about either relocating them. One of it was to Hartford, so I'm constantly getting free tickets to
There you
their
go.
games. So
All right. So if you had to choose between the Yankees winning the World Series and the Knicks winning the NBA Finals, which you choose?
I'm gonna have to say the. Ugh,
This should be easy.
can I plead the fifth?
You got to choose one.
No, because it's kind of okay. Fine, I'll do the Yankees.
Wow. Okay, I thought the
I
Knicks haven't
know.
won a
I was gonna go with
championship
the
since the '70s.
Knicks.
That's
I was gonna go
surprising.
with the Knicks because you know what? I know New York wants that so bad. New Yorkers want that so bad, and I love it when like a New York team wins and like like it just ain't nobody better to celebrate than New York. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's just my opinion. Don't
oh
shoot.
yeah, yeah.
Don't
This is
shoot me.
this is fun. All right.
And it's a neighbor. New York's my
Mhm.
neighbor.
Black Cement 3 or Black Cement 4?
Black cement threes, even though I have the fours.
Got you. Got you. Okay. All right. So obviously you've had some '90s exposure to be talking about Post No Bills and all these brands and all these
Oh,
artists. So,
you gonna hit me with that?
oh yeah, I'm definitely
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z or Nas. Got to pick one.
I'm gonna say Nas because I've already seen him in concert 4 times, and I don't care what nobody says. Like he is still the most fundamental lyricist out there. Like
Mm,
he's still out in the game. He's still doing his thing. Like I said, like last time I saw him in concert was in 2022, 2023, and he's still doing his thing. He's still keeping that energy. He's still dropping albums. And so I'm gonna go with Nas. Jay-Z, I still have love for Jay-Z. I think he, Reasonable Doubt, that that was just like most iconic one of the most iconic albums that he has, besides the Black Album and Hard Knock Life and Hard Knock Life 2. I mean, I could go on forever, but my heart is with Nas, and especially the when he did the Lost Tapes and Do Rag song, that was like that was on repeat for me.
so another older reference, that came out in 2002. All right, so you know, I could ask you these questions and you at least know. Okay, all
Yes.
right. So okay, so huh, I can't
I
ask you.
feel like I'm on Drink Champs.
Well, I wish we could we could be drinking, but getting back to the sneakers. Um, okay, black and white high top chuck or optical white high top chuck.
Black and white hard top show.
Okay, all right,
I had a pair.
okay,
I still have a pair, but they're Ninja Turtles.
okay, okay. Um, Puma suede or Adidas Samba.
I'm gonna say Adidas Samba. I have
Wow.
a pair. I actually wore them the other day too.
Okay. All right. All right. 50 Cent or Ja Rule? on, man. You
I
put
just
that.
gotta laugh at this question. Of course, I'm gonna say 50 Cent.
Okay. All right.
50
Fair enough.
Cent. Like the, you know, Get Rich or Die Trying. I used to know that album by heart.
If they gave you a silhouette of your choice, any company, Nike, whoever, and you had to put either the bread colorway on the silhouette or the UNC color on the silhouette, which colorway are you picking?
Well, that's a trick question because, UNC colorway holds a, it's such an iconic, they're both such an iconic silhouette. Like, like I mentioned, the 1996 Nike Up Tempos and then the UNC colorway. And God, the history and, you know, the history of the Jordan logo of how that came about, where they actually, when that logo was made, he was wearing New Balances. And he did that when he was at the University of North Carolina. And, the bread colorway that was born out of his first creation with Nike. God, can I do both?
Either or, man.
Uh, you know what? This is gonna tip it because I love black and red, so I'm gonna have to do the bread colorway.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So now we're gonna get back to talking about current day sneakers. Now you don't really know what's gonna sell out or what's gonna sit.
Not
Couldn't
anymore.
have, you couldn't have told me that the rare Air Four
We're gonna sit.
was gonna sit because fours are hot. It's an
All
easy,
rare four sat. The
yeah. The
threes, the
three,
fours,
the
and
one,
the mids, the
yeah,
Air Jordans, those sat.
yeah.
True. I got the rare airs, the mids on sale for
Mm-hmm.
$102 through Manor. Like
So,
that was unexpected. They were so hyped up.
well, and it's surprising because they're very easy to wear. Usually, I feel like, at least in my experience doing shoe releases, if it doesn't sell and it's not a collab, it's usually because it's too hard to wear. I feel like a lot of people don't want to put thought into their fits. They just, want basic black, red, white, blue. If something's too hard, sometimes a Jordan will sit. But I feel like, I don't know. This might be a hot take too. I feel like the gold, rare air, and the white. I don't feel like that helped it. I feel like they should just made it all gold or all white.
I agree. But
Because
I think what some of the rare fours had the gold lettering, and they
mm-hmm.
kind of did a bunch of ones with no, and it's kind of like getting the like we called it on the Soul Narrative, the Willy Wonka chocolate ticket, the golden ticket.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you playing games? Why you playing games, Nike? Stop doing that. Stop playing games.
yeah. But with things being the way they are, you're collecting. What direction do you want your collection to go in the future?
I think that this has been a very selective year for me.
Hmm.
Um, I've had options. I'm somebody that it's like if I can't get that pair, then I'm gonna go hard for this pair. Like, I'll like if I didn't get the undefeated fours, then I was gonna go hard for the shattered backboards. But now that I have the undefeateds, and it's like I'm okay with not getting the shattered backboards. Um, so it's been a very selective year for me, uh, especially that Nike's throwing everything at us this year, and the end of the year is going to be jam packed. So I think what I want my collection to evolve, mainly my Jordan collection, is kind of more focusing now this year on like the OG silhouettes, getting the OGs in, and then maybe next year think about if they do have some dope collabs, then go into that. I'm still gonna. I have tons of dunks. Dunks are one of those things where if I can't put a fly dope fit on with my J's, then I'm gonna put a pair of dunks on. And if I'm gonna try to go more for more SBs, kind of add more SB dunks into my collection, God willing. Um, but I think it has to turn into my collection's like all over the place, right? I have a bunch of variety. I have I have sleepers, I have heat, I have just typical I still have a pair of Cortez in my collection. So it's just with Jordans I want to become more like meaningful with it. But the rest it's kind of just what what speaks to me. I don't really go behind the hype. I'm not one of those people that um I go after a sneaker because it's hyped. Like I did get the Kobe Barcelona's Air Force Ones. Those are dope. I'm glad I did get those like on hand. They're beautiful. Just the way that they're doing the Kobe line is great. Is it oversaturation? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see by the end of this year. But uh, just appreciating more, getting more of those silhouettes that I appreciated more growing up.
Okay. I don't feel like um I don't feel like they're oversaturating the Kobe's. Because even before he passed, like it was a lot of Kobe stuff around, and I mean, I don't know if you remember, but none of that stuff was really selling before he died. Um, I'm glad that they're making them, and one of my favorite Kobe's, which nobody really fucks with, is the Kobe 3. It's about to come back. The
Mm,
last high top Kobe. They were hard to come by in their run just because they were kind of overshadowed by the first hyper dunk when he jumped over the car and all of that. So those kind of took over the Kobe 3. But I'm hopeful that I can get. That's when I want all of them. I love that shoe that much, where I want all the colors of the 3. But I guess my next question would be then, because you're into so many different things, you want to evolve your Jordan collection. What's something that you might have been into before or you're into now that you don't see yourself in the future?
probably dunks.
Probably dunks. Okay.
Those are probably. I still. One thing about me is that I still have like mm, be like 8 pairs of Air Force Ones. I got three to look up there. I have like about two low variations where it's different. Um, and I got two pair of lows, two pair mids, all white. I don't I don't have a pair of black ones. But then I got the all Kobe white Air Force Ones too. And the yellow and the white and yellow purple Lakers. Those I can never see myself get rid of.
Yeah.
That's one. I know that a lot of people like hate on Air Force Ones, but that's a pinnacle for me. Um, as much as they that we talk about them and they're like, why do we keep bringing out silhouettes of Air Force Ones? Like, let me see. Um, oh, these are the yellow ones. Uh,
I love forces.
me too. Um, this these I believe allegedly were supposedly were limited. Um, I just love the the detail on them, and the white ones have an 8 and a 21 on the back, and but it's the same that same snake print. But
Yeah, I
Air
like how
Force
this.
Ones, I can't see myself getting rid of my Air Force Ones, honestly. That's
Yeah.
something that it's just like I kind of feel like that's what started it, and that's what where where I'll end it.
Yeah. I like how the Shakuzo
And
logo on the
Timberlands,
back is all over
Timberlands,
the back of it like that. That was cool. The Kobe
Air
logo.
Force Ones and Timberlands. If in a couple years you're in my closet and I pass away, that's what you're gonna find still. Air Force and Timberlands.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
I, I I'm gonna I'm gonna go I'm gonna depart with that. Like Air Force and Timberlands. I started with that and I'll end with that. And a pair of Air Bacons.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Well, before we wrap up here, are there any questions you have for me?
No, it's just like, how long have you been working for Nike slash Converse?
Since 2020.
2020. How do you like it?
It's all right. Shoes.
What's, what got you into the, like wanting to do that job?
I don't know. I mean, I've worked for every sneaker chain except for Finish Line at least once. So I figured, why not work for the company itself? I mean,
The actual
you know, and I like Converse. I'd rather work in a Converse environment over the larger, just because it's a little more intimate. You know, you've got to be really dialed in and bought into the brand in order to be successful with it. Where if you work at Foot Locker,
I, but the thing is that I feel like Converse has always been successful, since, if you look at it, back when Nike started, Converse was number one in basketball. They
mm-hmm.
were the basketball sneaker, Will Chamberlain. Like, and it's just like now it just, it's sad how we lost that, I guess, that memory of that's where they started at. Listen, I will not play basketball in Converses, hex to the no. But to keep its integrity of being like a basketball sneaker, like to me, it's still a basketball sneaker. Like I know a lot of people see it as a streetwear or a casual sneaker, but that forever, like they were number one. They were number one, and Adidas was number two, and Nike was number three at one point, and people forget that. And so it was kind of sad when they sold the company to Nike. And I remember that Nike put the Converses into their own, like Nike and Converses were integrated in the same website, and that really, like, I didn't like that. And then they went back to branching it off into its own individual website, and then I like it. Like it was, I now I like shopping on Converse.com. I still keep buying Converse,
Mm,
but I kind of feel like they lost that, and it's sad because people don't remember that about Converse.
gotcha, gotcha. But I generally enjoy working for the company. I got to go to Nike World Headquarters last summer, so I was out there for about a week, getting
Cool,
to
Oregon.
archives and just see all of that stuff. It was a really good experience. It's probably been one of the best things that's happened since I've been with the company, because it was on them. They flew me out, so it was nice. So,
What do you find fulfilling about your job?
uh, hmm, I guess the access.
That's what do you find fulfilling about your collection?
Well, I hmm, what do I find fulfilling about it? I just like, appreciate, and blessed to have almost everything that I want. And for me, the Converse have been the most fun to collect over the last 7 or 8 years, just because if you have the money, you can get any Jordan, but you have to really look for certain collabs and certain releases with the Converses. So most of the time when I wear limited stuff like that, most people don't know what it is anyway, but I know what it is. And when I post and when I do these sticker content, or when I do lives like this, I'm enjoying talking to you, but it's for me. I just enjoy talking about sneakers. You
Same
know,
thing. This is what
sneakers
I
are
do. What
my
I do.
favorite thing to spend disposable income on. I have a lot of t-shirts. I have a lot of pairs of
No,
socks.
I
I have a
love
lot of
your
shirts.
uh
Sneakers is number one.
DuckTales.
Oh, thank you.
That's nostalgic right there. Used to
Yeah.
watch that show all day, every day. DuckTales. But from that, what do you enjoy then? Like, what do you want to do? Okay, in 5 years, what would you like your Instagram page to evolve into? Yes, I know you have a following, but in 5 years, what would you like it to evolve into?
You know, it's been through so many changes because again, I've been married, I've ran different stores, I've been friends with people, I've done shows with people, not friends with people. So I guess I wanted to evolve the way that, the good Lord intends it to. I don't really have a plan
Amen.
for it. I've been able to be monetized on a couple of different platforms, as being one of them. And I just want to keep doing this. I want it to remain authentic because people do stuff to get likes and get
Clout.
sponsorships. That's a thing. I'm not going to sell myself out just to make a couple dollars. I'd rather the page not make any money and it just be a true representation of me.
Nice.
So,
Dope.
so yeah. But I'm trying to think. If, fulfilling for the job. What I tried to do and been able to do in certain instances is try to bring Converse into more of a sneaker space than it just being, I got some Chucks or whatever, and I want to show people that it's a lot more to Converse than just Chucks.
It is. There's a lot more history, and I believe their collaborator. Like I have the one of the Tom and Jerry collaborations that they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nostalgic show for me. So I can appreciate them bringing back like they did Hello Kitty. Yeah, I know it's Hello Kitty, but I grew up on Hello Kitty, and it's like yeah, they did
Oh,
Scooby Doo,
mm-hmm.
and it's like I got a pair of Scooby Doos, and it's like yeah, that's dope. That's like I appreciate the fact that they can do nostalgic shows with it, but yet. Um, I feel like the collaborators, if they did more Japanese collaborators, it would be so much dope. Um, but like their boots, I have a pair of boots I have the Converse. Oh, it's a Gore-Tex boot. And let me tell you, I've had them boots for 3 years, and every winter they're all black and they're reflective. And every winter I wear them, and they're still holding up.
Yeah.
And I still get compliments on them. That's the thing, like even like the old silhouette Converse, not that necessarily the Chucks, like people forget that it's like, yes, even though Converses are like $100 or 95, 85, 120, they still, the most recent collab, the Naruto, like that dope. That's dope. Like do you think Nike would ever do a Naruto drop on one of their sneakers? No, they're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh now on an Air Max.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, this is just my opinion. I do feel like a lot of times when collaborators come to the company, they have them do a Converse before they let them touch a Nike. To kind of see what the temperature is like. The Naruto stuff sold out instantly. Like I wanted the Converse weapons more so for them being Converse weapons as opposed to them being a Naruto collab. But um, because that was so successful and it sold out so fast, there may be Naruto Nikes in the future. You never know. I feel
No,
like
but
they go ahead.
but I feel like Converse. I don't know. Maybe that's just my own opinion and just how I've seen Converse over the year. They're more culturally expanded, if you want to say,
How so?
than Nike. Like the collaborators that they've done, um, and bringing back old shows on their silhouettes. It's like you don't see a Tom and Jerry on a Nike. You don't see a Scooby Doo on a Nike. And I get it. I know because that's just Nike. But um yeah, like I remember Puma, they did I actually got my niece a pair of them. They did with Pokemon. And I got her a pair of Pikachus. Um
Yeah, that
so
was
like Puma did one with Scarface, and I actually had a pair. I got them on sale at Shoe Palace. And that's an iconic movie. So like when they bring back iconic things, They're not afraid to go and do things that are nostalgic and iconic. That's my thing with Converse. And that's why I love them. And they always have their sneakers are always evolving with material and texture. That's one thing. They're not afraid to go into that realm of adding, the Sherpa on a Converse. And so that's what I appreciate about them.
Mm, okay.
The Space Jams, like I have the pair of Space Jams that they came out with, and I ended up getting the matching jacket, and I ended up getting the hoodie from Converse.com too, the Lola hoodie.
Gotcha. Yeah, I ended up I bought both of those, and there was like a heavier hoodie that had all the characters on it. Um, that was a collection they did with Nike and Converse. I guess because of LeBron, but um, I hear you. I hear you. For me, it just seems like Nike focuses more on fashion, where Converse focuses more on relatability. Um, I agree with you with the Japanese collaborators, but since there is a Converse Japan that is separate from Nike and USA and Europe Converse, they get a lot of collabs in house where you can get them, but the shipping is so much, and
Yeah, it's
you got to pay
ridiculous.
import duty fees. Like the CDGs that they make for Converse Japan are completely different than the
The
CDGs
ones that
they
don't
give
send.
us. So and the quality, but people over here aren't trying to pay $150 for a Chuck 70 because of the leather.
I mean, oh yeah, I do have a pair of Chuck 70 leathers.
Because for us, they're only like 100. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
that's like a whole different. Cause I held a pair in my hand once, and just the weight of it, I'm like, God, this is completely different than anything I've seen us have over here. But I got you. I mean, I love Converse. Converse has kept the sneaker game fresh for me because I've been kind of bored with just buying the same Jordans every 5 years. So Converse has kept it fresh.
I know they always. I never see them. Yeah, aside from their usual colors that they always have in stock, like I've always feel like I can go on their website, and if I'm looking for not just the Converse, if I want the boot, like if I want a different pair of boots, like I can go to Converse and get myself a pair of boots, and they'll be dope.
All right. So before we go, you gotta give me your top five sneakers in your collection.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I got my undefeateds, my lost and founds. I just showed you the Adidas, the Ferraris, and I'm gonna say the SB Rodeos.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, those are nice. I wish they would have came out when they were supposed to, but at least they came out anyway.
Yeah, I actually got them after the drop. I ended up paying $15 over retail for them, which is not bad.
Yeah,
So I kind of lucked out on that. I was like, in this case, patience was a virtue. In this case, it was true.
got you. Got you. Well, Kitty, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for, sharing parts of your collection and, your takes on a lot of things. It's really been a good time.
I know, and I enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for making this more than just about showing off my sneakers and, talking about beyond the sneakers itself and the culture. And so I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Well, I'll be seeing your post. You did. I was impressed. I was like, yeah, she got the Hello Kitty shirt with the Converse shirt with the,
Oh
that's
yeah, I got
good.
the Prestos. Yeah, I got the Prestos
Mhm.
and the Nike. Yeah, and man, my closet is ridiculous when it comes to clothing because, like I told you, I got the undefeateds, and I'm like, I gotta get the Avrex jacket. It's kind of one of those things, and just the way my brain works when it comes to matching things. And it's like if the hoodie, I do have the Hello Kitty, and I ended up getting the hoodie and the T-shirt. When those Prestos drop, the Hello Kitty Prestos drop, I remember that. I ended up getting them over retail, but that's okay.
Now, do you wear your Hello Kitty? Converse more or your Prestos more?
Um, Probably my Hello Kitties have been worn more than my my Prestos because that color, it's like only two things I could wear with them. Whereas the black and white Hello Kitties, I can wear more of a variation with that. So I have two different types of Hello Kitty Converse. The black and red ones that they came, and then a pair of white ones where it had all her friends.
I have that pair.
Yeah, it's cute.
Hmm.
It's like really cute. So yeah, it's just my world, you know. It's
You got
just
to bring out those Converses, man.
when I know I literally was just talking about that. I was like, I gotta get into the boxes and back there and dig out my Converse because a lot of people have been asking to see my Converse collection. I'm like, yes, I need to pull it out, and plus I need to check them too. I need to check them because I do have a lot, a lot. It's ridiculous.
All right, before we go, how many sneakers do you think you have in total?
I'll say like over 400 pairs.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah, it's bad.
Is it? It's not bad.
Some people say that's terrible. That's crazy. Where do you keep them all? And I'm like, my basement. And there may be like 20 boxes in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It's
That's what
like 20
sucks about.
boxes in my bedroom before I moved it down here into the basement and kind of made this my studio slash, or how they say, my foot locker because of the way the
Yeah.
way that I have them. There's sneakers going that way and there's sneakers coming that way. So
Yeah.
it's like a
Nah, that,
warehouse.
that's one of the things that sucked about moving down here was people down here don't really have basements.
Oh yes, I heard about that.
Yeah. So that that was an adjustment because last house I owned in Cleveland, I had a finished basement with a bar. My man cave was down there. I didn't really keep sneakers down there, you know, but yeah, and 400 pairs, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. I've been told to get rid of some, but when I'm ready, I will.
Yeah, nobody's ever gonna tell me what I can and can't
When I'm
have.
ready, I
So,
will. You know, when I'm ready, I will. If one day I say to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm moving on to other things in my life, then sure.
gotcha.
I don't see that anytime, and don't count on it in the next 5 years. I don't think, but yeah, yeah.
I don't think that I'm ever gonna stop buying sneakers.
I don't think so neither. But that's something that I try to tell myself. It's a little lie.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I just feel like once a sneakerhead is always a sneakerhead, and if you were formerly a sneakerhead, you still got that in you. You're still gonna look at other people's what they got, what they wearing, what they rocking, and yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
like
think that ever goes away.
yeah. People ask me a number, and I don't know how many shoes. I know certain collections, like how many of this or that I have, but I don't know how many it is
Well,
or
you have
stuff.
a storage unit.
Yeah, I mean, but still, it's going from living in houses to living in an apartment is because of that, but still. But yeah,
No,
yeah,
been there, done that.
yeah.
That's nicer that's or not nicer, but I appreciate the basement. Just have to keep it controlled.
Right, right. You gotta have a
Yeah, temperature
humidifier down
controlled.
there, a couple fans.
Yeah, some humidifier. There's nothing touching the floor boxes. There's no boxes touching the floor. And it's like, when we started doing the Soul Narrative podcast, I'm like, where am I gonna do this podcast? And it was just like in front of my sneakers
Yeah,
and
like
kind of just set up a mini studio down here.
I usually since I've started doing these again, I haven't really done them in the room because it's just too many shoes for me to do in there because I have a room just full of Converses, and it's where I would normally do it, but it's a little more comfy out here in the living room.
I think it's a little more casual and more laid back.
Yeah,
It's
so I've
more
had people
laid.
be like when they see my all the sneakers, they're like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "That's only a fraction," but I ain't even getting into that.
I know people. There are some only a couple of people that like Stunt and Kingsley and Dre and Ryan and Larry. They're the only ones that know. And Sergio, who's Ginkgo Kicks and Gaming, um, they know how this looks. They're one of the very few of the many people on Instagram that are friends that I can call my truly friends, um, close friends, and that they know how it looks like down here.
Yeah. Well, as always, again, thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll be in touch.
All right, take care.
All right, peace.
Bye.